Hi. I spent, I don't know, an hour or so listening to Aaron Budgen on atonement and propitiation. I listened to him quite closely, and everything was fine and good until he said that Jesus came to die for the whole world, and the gist of the idea of the word atonement was covering, and that covering memorialized the sin until Jesus came to take it away. But remember that covering was not on the whole world. Moses and Israel did not cover the whole world with sins. Only the Jewish people had this atonement, had this covering. Indeed, the covering even went before the Ark of the Covenant and the law. Right? There was the atonement, the golden atonement, was it over top of the altar, and Aaron had to go in with blood sprinkled before that to even walk in. And so this idea that blood being a covering or of sins and a memorialization of sins up until the time of Christ, yes, it was memorializing what though? The fact that this blood represented a time when someone would come and remember our sins no more. Remember, he says, I will be their God and they will be my people, and I will remember their sins no more. But the fact of the matter is, he said, I will be their God and they will be my people, and I will remember their sins no more. It does not say that I will remember the sins of the whole world anymore. You can try to read that in there, or you can make that assumption, but what you were saying, or what was said about the atonement, was specifically for the Jewish people. That the Jewish people were covered because they were a representation of the people of God, whether they were chosen or not, or whether they were Israel of faith. The picture of the Jews was the picture of those people who were going to be, or who were covered by the blood of Christ. The problem is that the sins were memorialized until the actual coming, because the bulls of blood and rams, the blood of bulls and rams could never take away sin. So forgiveness could not come until actually Christ died. But notice that the blood was not sprinkled on the whole world, but just on the chosen people. This is very important, because I don't know how anyone can say, or Aaron can say, that what this meant was that the whole world was covered, or that all the whole world's sins were memorialized for the time of judgment, when basically the memorialization was not just was not actually memorializing their sins, but memorializing the idea, memorizing the idea that blood had covered their sins until the coming of the Messiah, until he would remember their sins no more. Because up until that time, yes, the sins were covered, waiting for the sign of the true blood, the blood that was not the blood of bulls and rams, to take away and even take out of memory. I'll remember their sins no more. So basically, I spent a lot of time listening to Aaron, and it's so wonderful that somebody can be so right on, and then on a logical question, based on some sort of bias of mind, go off in another direction. He cannot make the claim that Jesus died for the whole world based on the propitiation or an atonement that was just for Jewish people who were the chosen people of God.